Welcome. I am Pastor Phil Aguilar, the real Dr. Phil, aka the Chief, and I bring to you the Dirty Dozen. What is the Dirty Dozen, you may say? 12 people that God has handpicked for me to have together speaking, addressing some of the topics of today that you're thinking about. And I want to introduce one of my favorite guests of my 12. They're all my favorites. One of my favorite guests of my 12, my friend, Quickie John Juarez. Quickie, good to have you, brother.
Good to be here, my brother.
You know what? Take a few minutes, and just tell me a little bit about yourself, because a lot of folks out there in China, Africa, anywhere in Europe, they may not know you personally. So just give us a few minute rundown about your life, what you're all about.
My life. Let's see. I'm having a hard time.
It's all right. This is serious business.
Yeah. Okay. I'm a recovering drug addict. I'll start right there.
Okay.
I had no direction in my life. I'm a Vietnam veteran. I was, when I was in Vietnam, a United States Army Ranger. I came back from Vietnam and had no friends. Everybody my age had gone back to Vietnam, and I was here alone. And I met some young people, and I started my drug career, and that went on till I was 41 years old. At that time, I was forced into the VA hospital because the woman I was with was going to leave me if I didn't get clean. And my story goes like this, I came home and she said, "You know what? I don't love you anymore, John." And I said, "Well, come on, baby." One more time, I was going to tell her, "Please forgive me. I'm going to change. I'll be better this time." That would be an addition to the hundreds and thousands of times I had said that to her in the 28 years I held her hostage. And she just finally got to the point where she didn't believe me anymore. She wasn't going to enable me anymore. And I was scared. Where am I going to go now when I come back after my 10, 15 day runs? Who's going to fix me? Who's going to feed me? Who's going to take care of me? And I lived in Crestline, and I remember getting on my bike thinking, well, I don't have an answer. I didn't know what to do. And I got on my bike and I was coming down the hill, and I was crying, and I said these magical words. I said, "God help me."
Wow.
And I hadn't talked to God in a long time. Those drugs, they stopped me from feeling that God spot that I had. I had no concept of a conscience. The more drugs I did, the more crap I could do. And as I said those words, I went down the hill. I wound up in the welfare office because I didn't know where to go. That's the only government building I know that, or jail. I wasn't going to go to jail. And I remember asking them, "Hey, look, I'm a drug addict. I need help. Here's my bag of dope. See, I have proof." And they were saying, "Get out of there. Get out of here, mister. I'm going to call the cops and they're going to take you away." And at the time, I didn't care. I need help. And they handed me some paperwork. I looked at it, wadded up, and threw it away because what is that? I need help. I need somebody to help me right now. And I didn't know till later that was a list of recovery homes and places you can go. But I had no, I didn't have a phone. So I went to the federal building and they gave me a little sticker that says, "Just say no." I thought, well, that's not going to work for me. And late at night on Mount Vernon Avenue, San Bernardino, there's a little drop-in center in the ghetto. And I walked in there and this black guy came and said, "Hey, how come you vets don't go to the VA hospital?" And a light bulb went on my head. And I wound up in the VA hospital. And I spent close to a year there.
Wow.
I wish I could say that was my end of my story, And what happened, I did my little year. I was good. I did a lot of meetings. When I got out of the VA hospital, I didn't have any money, And so what do? And one of a good friend, I'll call him a friend, said, "Hey, how about a couple pounds of crystal methamphetamine? You can pay me when, because I know you're not using, so I know you're not going to burn me.
To make some money
Make
here.
some money, and I justify everything. I rationalize everything. I said, okay, sounds good to me. And I started slinging dope, and and I didn't realize what a hard job it was, chasing drug addicts around, My job started at 2:00 in the morning. My backyard looked like Sanford and Son, because if you didn't pay, if you're slow,
Brought stuff
I had
over,
to go tax you, because that's what I have to do. That's what my ego said. I can't have the word out that I'm letting you, owe me, and nobody even knows who you are. But that's just how that's my rationalization for taking your stuff. Here I am walking out the door with 2 bags of Pampers. I mean, what with your baby crib, with things that, I'm going to teach you a lesson. I don't know whether I did or not, but that was my life.
You owe me. Yeah, you're going to
me.
pay up. Exactly.
I did that for a while. Then I chose to sell weed, because that's more natural. I thought, hey, weed's better for you, and I started selling weed, and that's how my life went. I had program, but I didn't have God in my life.
You were clean and sober, but still you were hustling and bustling.
Yeah, because my spirituality was nowhere. I still didn't want to deal with God, because I knew if I dealt with God, I'm going to have to put a suit, a tie on.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to go to church every Sunday. I'm going to have to do all this stuff that my parents did, to that punishing God that God that they introduced me to, that if I did something wrong,
you get smacked.
he was watching me. God's going to get you for that. God doesn't want you to do that, And I tried to run as far as I could from God, but that's not possible. I found out, and I went along my journey, and it was a crazy journey. And for 13 years, I claimed 13 years clean and sober, but I wasn't. I was because I would go to the doctor and tell him, hey, look, I'm too heavy. I need something for my heaviness, and I'd drive all the way to India to get my medication.
Legal meds, prescription meds.
So he would give me some bioamphetamine, or he'd give me whatever I was to lose weight. And then all of a sudden I couldn't sleep, so he'd give me downers to sleep. And that's how my life went. But they were legal. They were coming from a doctor. So
like the Rolling Stones called them Mother's Little Helpers.
That's right.
Exactly.
It only was Daddy's little helper. And and that's how my life went until I finally crashed and burned. What happened is, I went I went somewhere to hang out with my friends, and I hadn't been drinking. That's the one thing I could say. That at that time, that's a lie. I drank some wine with my wife, but that didn't count. See, that's how I justify, rationalize everything.
Hey, people listening right now can relate. How many people need recovery, in recovery, justifying this, giving excuses for that? Yeah, no, you're talking to the world right now. I get you.
It blew me away, because I didn't remember those things. As far as I was concerned, I was clean. That little sip of wine, it's nothing. A little bit of weed. Oh no, I didn't smoke a bunch of weed. And I wasn't doing lines.
Yeah, I just snorted the heroin. I didn't shoot it up.
That's
Exactly.
right. Exactly. and what happened was, after going to that bar, and I hadn't drank in a long time, and I thought I deserve a beer, because that's not gonna kill me. One beer.
Pat on the back.
Oh my God, I deserve it. I just went through a breakup with this woman, and she broke my little heart. Now what?
I'm a victim.
Exactly. Everybody's to blame for myself but me. So what happened? I had that beer, and then I had another beer. In the third bottle of beer, there's a sack of dope for me. It's like a mezcal worm. When I tipped that beer,
at the bottom,
somebody came by and said, hey, you want to smoke some weed? I said, well, yeah, that's natural. I justified it one more time.
Natural.
But what I did is I looked around to make sure nobody I knew was in there watching me. And I didn't see anybody. Well, they were there.
And that's a big, a mud check right there, looking around. Oh.
Yeah. Who's going to tell on me? Okay. I had that beer. By the time I got to that last beer, I had to ride home. Well, how am I going to do that? Because, I've been drinking. So maybe I need to go a little faster than most to get home. And, so that started my my career again in drinking and using. And that lasted for about 6 months, and thank God, and what happened is, after those 6 months, I crawled back I asked God for help one more time, and he brought me back to the rooms of Narcotics Anonymous. And you, the direction that you gave me, I'll never forget. I share this all the time. I said, now today, let's forget about all my history of drug abuse. So that's where are we at now? Where we're at now is 3.5 years ago, we made a little YouTube video for Set Free, and I was so happy about that little thing. I never saw it. See, I never got a chance to see it, because about 3 months later, I went to federal prison for 3 years. And so I never got to see that video, and it's interesting, because that video I saw when I got back. But that video, while I was locked up, I'd have COs coming to me and going, "Hey, John, you're Quickie, huh?" I'm going, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Hey, we YouTube, we Googled you to see what you're all about.
They research you.
Yeah, we researched to see what you're all about, and we found this video called Interview Quickie John on YouTube. Wow, it's amazing." I said, "Well, thank you." They said, "We didn't know, we were, they're looking for the hate, the discontent, the murder, the raping, all that. That's what they're looking for. All the juicy stuff. Instead, they watched a video about this man who loves God.
And life has changed, and you're sharing it with the world.
And my life has changed, and it's just, it's so amazing, And what's amazing is that, again, my wife said, "Hey, they made, we went to a premiere. There's a lot of your friends there. Everybody misses you, And I thought, wow, that's pretty cool.
I call that the ministry of interruptions. Here you were, you shot that video, we did that, you gave your life story. It was beautiful. We're ready for a premiere. We rented a big old theaters. Hundreds of people came. People drove from afar here and there. And you were one of the featured speakers of the whole thing like that. And here they lock you up. People don't know about it. It's in the newspapers worldwide, everything like that. These men are locked up for murder, for rape, for you name it, drugs, all this type of stuff. They killed somebody, did all these things like that. And it doesn't look good while you're locked up, did it?
No, it doesn't.
Man, I mean, from the outside, being a friend of yours for so many years, I'm going, my gosh, now it's like guilty till proven innocent, and then no bail. Nobody's going to get out and fight it from outside. So every time you guys are shackled up and wearing your outfits, doing all that stuff, it looks like all odds are against you. Kind of reminds me, like it says, Jesus on Friday night when they were taking him to the cross. It didn't look good, but when Sunday morning came, he rose from the dead. In your situation, so here you are, locked up for a few years in there. Can you give us just a few minutes of what was going through your mind or the things you went through? Because I know you've called on God each time, and that's what been your salvation.
I got to share this little story, though. Some friend of mine a long time ago told me this story when I was sitting in a pew, and he told me about this guy that they were going to crucify, and he told me this story just kind of the way I'm interpreting it to you, about this outlaw, that hung around that could be RICO'd because all the disciples were,
right.
were outlaws.
Right.
I mean, they were totally going against the grain of what everybody thought they should be doing.
That's right.
And they caught the P, and his sentence was death by crucifixion.
Right.
And he went up to this mount of skull, and there was 3 other people. There was him and 2 other people there. And one of the guys said, "Hey, man, if you're this powerful dude, get me off of here, man. Come on, let's go."
Yeah, he wanted off.
He wanted off. And the other one said, "Shut up, fool. We're here because of what we did."
Took full responsibility.
That's right, for his actions. And said, "Forgive me." And what did he say? This very day, he'll be by his side. Jesus Christ is, the first person to go to heaven was an outlaw.
Was an outlaw.
You know,
He said, today you'll be with me in paradise. That's
Jesus
it.
Christ was an outlaw. People don't understand that. Come on, you know. And so, what are we afraid of? You know, I have a T-shirt that says "Outlaws do recover." We do. Every one of us are an outlaw.
That's
you
right.
know, every one of us. You don't have to wear this funny hat or wear this organization or that organization. You are naturally born outlaw.
You know what? That is so true, because, you know, that's why I was just talking to my friend Miggs a little earlier. We inherited this sin nature. That's it. You know, if somebody tells us, don't touch that thing, what do we want to do? We want to touch that thing. First scripture I ever heard was a man told me, can a man take fire in his bosom and not get burnt? And I went, how burnt will I get? I mean, we're looking for love in all the wrong places. So here you are. You get released. Man, how cool is that? You're living out here, and we're this thing called COVID.
Yeah.
This thing called, you come out, here you're locked in quarantine. Now this thing called COVID-19 is out here, and they want to lock us all up. What's it like for you? How's life living under this COVID pandemic?
Well, let me go back to a little bit. You asked me a question about being incarcerated. Okay.
Yeah.
So it was June 17th, 2017. You know that. At 5 o'clock 4:30 in the morning.
Well, they do early morning rage, don't they?
That it always interested me that this was supposed to be a sealed indictment, yet every TV camera was there. ABC, NBC, CBS, CNN, helicopters and vans parked outside of my house. I didn't know it, you know, because I was, you know, but all I know is I heard these flashbang grenades going off. I know that's what they were now. And I'm woken and I'm at the top of the stairs, and my wife is right below me, and there's all these little red lights on you, you know, and they're going, you know, and they broke every window out of my house, and they're going, you know, step slowly, walk slowly, you know, and I ran out the door, or they carried me out the door, threw me on the ground, put handcuffs on me. I still have a scar from the handcuffs. You know, that's a reminder, you know. And
you were definitely the chosen one, because on every news TV station I watched, every picture came out. That's my friend Quickie, right? You know?
Yeah.
They centered you out right there.
But let me tell you what happened. So we get arrested, and we go on, and we're on a curb, and there's 7 of us, you know, and some of these guys look mean, not me. These 7 guys, and there's a picture of us with our backs, and we're smiling. You know, what we did at that particular moment, I said, everybody settle down. Okay, let's be grateful to God. What you had to be grateful for.
Oh, no one would ever know that.
And each one of us, I said, I'm grateful for I'm grateful for God and my understanding. I'm grateful for God. I'm grateful for my wife, and I went on with my grateful. So each one of us did that, and we were smiling, and Homeland Security guys, they were looking at us like, not quite understanding, but that's just it. That's how it is. That's all I knew. That's what God instilled upon me. Look for Him for help, not anywhere else. And I knew at that moment, even though they were telling me you've got life in prison, there's no chance of nothing. We're not even going to talk to you about any kind of deal, you old man. We got you. Rico's got
Finally,
you.
yeah.
If one of you is wrong, you're all wrong. So you're done. And but I said, nah, I don't think so. I didn't realize that out here people were writing me off. A lot of my friends said, quickly, we wrote you off. Because hey, at your age, you're going to prison forever. There was no, but inside I knew that wasn't the truth.
Wow.
I knew, I had faith. I now, be honest with you, I thought I'd be out in like a couple of days, and then a week, and then a year, then 2 years, then 2.5. But you know what? Every day that I woke up, I have a motto tattooed on myself: is no bad days. I've never had a bad day since that moment. That wasn't even a bad day. And how I get to that realization is that I've concluded in my little brain that my God of my understanding gives me the power to, if I start to think that I'm having, that's drama. If I start to think, okay, I'm going to have a screwed up day, this is going to be a bad day, how can that possibly be if I have a God of my understanding? You know what? I can stop that at any moment. I can restart my day at any moment.
Mindset, yes.
And I can call you. I can call somebody. Go, hey, you know what? Things are going a little rough, and you can say, hey, it's all right, John. Just say, you can come by here. You can do whatever. It's all good. And I know it's all good. So I haven't had a bad day. My wife, I forgot my little rock. I have a rock. My wife would pick up a rock from the prison every time she went to visit me. She visited me every Sunday. She drove 5 miles one way and 5 miles back, just to see me on a little screen like this for an hour, and she'd pick up a rock. And then on that rock, she would write "no bad days" and hand them to her friends. I have the last rock of when I walked out of that prison, a free man, not because of because if the federal government had their way, I'd be in that prison forever. Yeah. But God had another plan for me.
God overrules.
Yeah,
everybody.
And I know what God's plan is for me, to carry the message to the addict who still suffers. My job that I was taught by you, okay, I'll be honest, was what we were talking about at the table. If somebody's hungry, if you want to do a food ministry, then go get some sacks of food and go feed some people.
There you go. There you go.
If you want to do a coat ministry, clothe people, then go buy some coats and give them to the people. If you want to help an addict, open your doors and let them in.
There you go.
And
you're doing it.
And we don't do this. For me, we don't do it. It's not, money is not going to play any, for me, my wife, and we struggle some days, but God always provides. We always feed everybody. These guys are fat and sassy. We always, we have food, and what we have in our home is the presence of a higher power, the presence of my God, who I'm surprised when people show up. I have people show up that I have no idea they're going to show up. I think, oh, this guy's too much of an egomaniac.
How many people got arrested with you at the house?
8.
8 of them. Were any of them club members?
No.
No, so you were the club member. So did they let them out?
Yeah.
So they let them out. I can relate, in my situation, because they let everybody else out other than me, my son, and my son-in-law. And it's a whole different thing. But I remember being locked up going, man, I let us into this mess. I'm going to lead us out of this mess. So here, you're the one, the big dog, the one they're after over here, the one that allegedly is all these things people say or they try to make believe on TV, dirty, no good bikers and this and that. And so you're in there. And while you're in there, you meet with some of your co-partners in the club. And I can remember one of the things that I first started thinking when I was locked up the last time is, why, Lord? And then quickly he took me to ask this question: what do you want me to learn here?
Right on.
What do you want me to learn here?
Because I can so relate to that.
The Why, Lord is a country song, victimitis, poor me, my sad life. But what do you want me to learn, Lord? And for me, it was totally, God said, for me, it was my pride was getting out of hand. And he says, I want to just tell you how much I love you. That's why I made the whole world watch in. When your life is being opened up and you feel like everybody's looking and everybody's judging, good, bad, or ugly, they're thinking their things. And, usually we're thinking we're going to get bailed out quick or this is going to happen. Postponements happen. And a lot of times when you're in a situation, it really is like one day at a time, isn't it?
Yeah, and that's exactly what happened. I never worried. Stuff would go on. I was able to start an NA meeting inside the facility. There wasn't.
You didn't wait till you got out.
No, and that's I was able to do that stuff because of what I learned in this little house. If you want to do something, then do it. And it was fear-based for me because I'm thinking, oh man, I got to have all these big old chat, all these guys. How are they going to react? What are they going to do? What's up? And I said, hey, look, I'm going to do a little NA meeting. I'm going, yeah, we'll go. We'll kill the time. Got nowhere else to go.
Yeah.
And so they go in there and nobody say anything for a long time. Maybe months later, you can do that now. Months later, somebody walk up and go, hey, man, thank you. I want to, I'm an addict. It's surprising how many convicts I met that didn't know they were addicts. When they're there, because I'd ask them a question, tell me a little bit about your life, because they didn't want to share. And they'd say, I said, and I always ask them this question, ask yourself this question: when's the first time you started using? And now I'm surprised people are using like at 6 and 12.
Yeah, a lot earlier.
not me. You know, I mean, I was an old man. I was 19, 21. I was back from Vietnam, and so they started using young, you know, and then I say, you know, well, when did you start using on your own? And they, 15, 16, 14, 13, and what was the outcome of all that? You know, juvenile hall, run away from home, you know, all that stuff, you know, and everything pointed back to prison, you know, mess up, prison. So maybe the gestation of being here is your use of narcotics.
Exactly.
You know?
Getting to the root of it. Exactly like that. One of the things that I'm just thinking right now as you're talking is I thought of myself, you know, okay, I'm a pastor, I preach the Bible and all that stuff. But recovery is, I'm a, you know, ex-dope fiend,
Yeah.
you know, heroin addict, but my whole 40 plus years of ministry is basically everybody's been an addict that I work with, you know, or they're married to an addict or their son or their daughter and all this stuff. And so recovery, it's not just recovery, but discovery, because they're helping to discover this is where it started. This is my reason. My PTSD is from this, all these type of things. And here you are, valuable too, where the COs, the guards, everybody, including the inmates, know there's somebody here with some words of wisdom. There's somebody here who isn't judging me, and he's sharing in a situation where normally he'd be writing snivel sheets to the chaplain or crying to his mom, I need a TV or whatever. You're saying no bad days. And that's when the rubber really meets the road. I believe that. So here you are. Now you're out. Most people counted you out, or, you know, this trial, that trial, and everything like that. And as I'm going along and I get to talk to different people that are going along with it, I'm following along. I go, my gosh, how long is this going to go on? I mean, we're close to the same age. And I go, man, we can see the finish line in life already, you know, getting up every day. And so I'm going, okay, Lord, you know, man, when's this going to happen? So many people praying for you. I know that much. So many.
I felt it.
Plus, we see a wife that sticks in there. How many people's ladies leave them when they're locked up? Happens all the time. Here you are, you got your support, your people, like I said, because you sowing good seed. You sowing good seed. And here you are, the high time, like I said, we're going to watch the premiere of your video, but at the same time, hundreds of people watched it. Thousands of people watched it. A few 100,000 plus people watched it. And here you are, still speaking that truth today, when we know the enemy wants you to just shut up and tell them there's no hope. But now you're a hope dealer, you know, giving hope to people, and you're doing it in the package of this biker guy that people look at, because man all looks on the outward, but God looks on our heart. So here you're out here now, like I said, you get released from that quarantine, and now they got this quarantine called COVID-19. How is that working in your life? I mean, you're prepared for this, it seems like it.
Well, you know, more people have done way more time than I have, you know, so everybody, I don't care how much time you did, if we went to county jail, whatever, it's the fact that you lose, you know, to lose all privileges, to be dependent on somebody to open the door for you, dependent on how many blankets you can have, how many pillows you can have, and if you have a little too much, every now and then they come by and take all your stuff that you accumulated, you know? And so, you know, I live my life every day. I read a lot. I prayed a lot. I had a routine in the morning. You know, I get up in the morning, and the first thing I do is I thank God for the day I was going to have.
Right.
You know, I'd go, hey, you know, me and you guy, me and you dude, we're on. And I talk to my God as if my God is my friend.
Yes.
Okay, I don't have to, I got a direct connection. You know, I don't have to do anything. If I want to hit my knees, I do. Or if I can stand here and talk to him right now and go, God, make sure that what I say is coming from you, not something I want to invent. I don't, you know, and so, you know, I live my life like that now. You know, and when I got out, I was going to do all these things. You know, I wanted to go to, I haven't seen a movie, you know, and you know, I can imagine guys that have been forever, but I hadn't seen a movie in 3 years. You know, I like going to the movies, you know. There's no theaters for me. I can't go out to eat. I love to go out to eat.
Yeah,
you know?
when you're locked up, you can't wait to be able to have
That's right.
a meal at some fine restaurant.
I was looking at an Impossible Burger, okay? I so much wanted to try one of those. I finally did, and it wasn't no big deal, but you know, but all those commercials on TV we'd watch, You want to go out and do a lot of things. You want to go out and ride your bike. You want to do out and guess what? Nope. Can't do that stuff. So you adjust. And for a minute, I was, getting a little PTSD, a little depression. You know what I mean? And so what happened is we lived in a little shack. That's not really a shack. My wife works for Betty Ford. I don't know if she did. Yeah, my wife works for Betty Ford. She's a good lady. She lived in Morongo Valley. We lived in Morongo Valley when I got out. That's where I went to live. And we thought we'd buy a house. So I'm thinking Anaheim. I want to buy it. I want to live here by Anaheim, close to all my gente. You know what I mean? And
instead,
we bought a house in Yucca Valley.
Wow, that's out in the country. Yes.
Oh my God! And I'm thinking, God, I have this nice big house. What am I going to do? Kind of lonely in here. And God said, "There, be quiet, son." And here comes an addict. A friend of a guy that helped Gay when I was locked up. That would be there for her if she needed something. Then comes another one. Then comes another one.
Oh, God knows how to do it.
Now we've got addicts on the floor, but that's okay. You know what I mean? It's just. Thank you.
My wife tells me, because I got a character who's always lived with me, and she's going, "People are your drug." There's a commercial, Quickie, maybe you've seen it on TV. There's this ocean thing out there, beautiful clear water, and you can see a little pier over here. And there's one chair, and then there's a little glass of beer or something right there. And it's a commercial to show you, go to the Bahamas, go there. And I go, that looks like such a lonely place. Where's the people at? Some of us get high on helping others.
I never thought about that, but that you're absolutely right.
It's my fix. It's my fix. Watching people grow, knowing some of them are going to flip me off going out the door, knowing some of them are going to talk smack about me. It's okay. I can handle it. Because when I see those kids growing, and I mean by every age group, it doesn't matter. When I see them change, when I see them getting hope again, when I see them getting back with their kids or families and getting some freedom, getting to be high on Jesus, it's a thrill that money cannot buy. There's no place. I've looked everywhere to get a thrill, whether it's a new G-Wagon or a new Harley or a trip here. There's nothing like seeing people's lives change. And that's what you're into the life-changing business. You're a doctor, a physician, Dr. Jesus. God's got you working on people's lives, changing their hearts, changing the way they think, because it's all a way of messing with, checking with their stinking thinking, getting a whole new perspective of life, and realize even when you're locked up, it worked for you. So here you get out. So you're used to been doing some time and stuff like that. So you're out here. What are your plans coming up now? What are you thinking? Because one of the reasons that God had me pick you, all 12 are people, doesn't matter what age they are. We're not just putting our feet up, and kicking back and just watching some episodes of this TV show, that TV show. No, we're about our Father's business. And we got ideals, we got plans. Give me some goals, some ideals you got for the future.
That's kind of funny because, God always provides for me. So we have this house and we have a lot of people, but I also have a 33-foot RV in the back, so I park that, But I need to run electricity to it. I need to run all stuff that costs. I need to run a sewer line to it,
Projects.
And all of a sudden, God brings these people into my home who do that work. And within 3 days, they have this thing plumbed up and ready to go. Now I have 3 more beds, and I'm amazed. Now my wife said, well, maybe we got a big piece of property, and she said, well, maybe we need to get a couple more trailers and put them back here. And it's, and
to me, it's like you're building your own Disneyland. You're your own Walt Disney in your style,
Yeah, exactly.
Helping people in recovery.
And that's it. And that's what keeps me going. At 73 years, I'm not ready to go anywhere. I want to continue. And I'm thinking that maybe this is the direction that God's always wanted me to go. Now I'll put my nose to the grindstone. Leave a lot of stuff that I thought was a priority to me aside, and I'm doing that.
Yeah.
I'm prioritizing now giving back to the addict who's still suffering. I'm prioritizing now making our home better place to live, with more room. and that alone is enough charge in my battery to keep me going until God wants me.
I love it. I call it the miracle is in the house. When God brings people, like I says, even the people shooting the cameras right now are people that live in my church house. They live with me. Like it says, they're talented videographer, photographers, all this stuff. My other fellow Mateo, he's doing his thing. These are people that God sent, and here they are. They're helping what I call building an empire for God, whether it's an empire or a Joshua tree with people, and they're able. What's cool too is when we left the people that are helping, let them help us build it, it's something they'll be able to tell their kids or their wife or their friends every time they pass by the place after they moved on. Man, I helped build that place. I go down the Hollywood Freeway and I go to the Dream Center there. I pioneered that place for the first 2 years, Yeah, that's Set Free over there, man. I helped start the first one. Because we know how to tear stuff down. We know how to destroy stuff in life. But here now we're building up things, and these lives are able to do little projects, work on things, and feel good, because the biggest thing gets us up in the mornings is purpose. A reason to be like, why would anybody get up? I can see why people don't get up at all. What for? What have I got to live for? But here we found purpose in our life.
See, that one more time shows me the miracle of God's love. I mean, we didn't, we had no idea how. These are projects we wanted to do. We don't know how we're going to do them. We don't have to. We just have to have some faith, And if you don't have faith, how do you get faith? You ask for it. That's all. If we don't have faith, how do we get it? We ask for it. That's how simple that is. And I'm just thank you for.
Check this out. So here you are out here. COVID-19 hits, it's part of that thing, like it says, and you can see how we are. We're not doing the correct social distancing. We're brothers. We still hug, all that, because it's a cool thing, and we're not afraid of the big bad wolf. But what do you think is going on with this new presidency thing? What do you think is going on? Can you give us a minute of your political stance?
Yeah, I am completely to the left of everybody that I know, pretty much. I believe, I fought for my country.
Thank you again, too, for that, brother.
You're welcome.
A ranger.
I fought for my country. I love my country. I love my God first, my family, and my country. That's my pecking order. I don't understand, maybe it's my age, I don't understand burning federal buildings down. I don't understand the Black Lives Matters movement, because I believe my old ass matters, so why should I matter any less? And I don't understand that, but you know what? And that's another thing. Okay. But why are we harming others? And why are we beating up buildings? And why are we looting stores? How's that accomplish anything?
Yeah.
I have a president right now, and I love that man.
Mm-hmm.
He's not like any other president that's been in my generation. He didn't come here a politician, so to speak, and he speaks his mind like me and you. And sometimes we stick our foot in it all the way
often.
to
no
the
filter.
knee. Yeah, there's no filter. And he'll say some of the stupidest stuff in the world. I cringe, but he's still my president.
There you go.
And to me, what the things that he's laid out, jobs for people. He's made more jobs for the Hispanic community, the Black community, and people in general than anybody.
Yes.
But see, it's just because I watch the news. I try to watch the news sometimes. I don't watch the news anymore anyway. But I try to. It depends on what news you watch. If you watch anything but one news station, it's all bad.
Yeah.
You can't do anything without it being bad. I mean, they're blaming him for the coronavirus as if he went to China, and infected himself and brought it back to the United States. I don't get it. And he called it the China virus.
China.
Yeah. Virus. And that's truth. That's where it came from. And guess, here's the funny part. So where are we buying all our masks and all our equipment to keep from getting it? From the Chinese.
Yeah.
So they're off this virus. They have made billions and billions of dollars.
Never thought of it like that.
You know,
Yeah.
I went on eBay, and I wanted to buy some surgical masks when it first started, you know, for a family. So I thought, okay, I found some, and I didn't look, you know what I mean? So it's, you know, made in USA and, you know, whatever. And I send for them, and 2 months later they come and they're made in China. You know, so I'm buying from the country that gave the infection to my country, you know. So I mean, you know, that's just, so I don't understand any of that. I just know one thing. I know that I'm going to vote, and I know that I am a staunch Trump supporter. Okay.
No Joe Biden, no.
Well, no, I don't understand the man. You know, somebody's going to have to interpret it for
So
me.
here you are. I look at you, you know, and once again, thank you for being here. But, you know, you're a man that's served our country. You know, you fought, you know, you dealt with the horrors of war and what it can do to, you know, our mental stability. You went through the drug thing. You've been in recovery. You're helping others. Now you're building a beautiful place just for others. That's why I tell people the house we're in right here, this isn't for me someplace to just kick back and smoke a cigar. No, every day I have people, young, old. I just got done baptizing kids and adults right now, you know, this afternoon. A little bit, I've got another birthday party group and stuff, but it's for people because we realize that there's nothing more precious than being giving to people, especially for those suffering, you know, that are in their addictions and things like that. Because we know a dad or mom or anybody suffering like that, it's affecting their kids, it's affecting their loved ones, it's affecting their words, affecting their whole thing. But you're living proof that even in darkness, even while locked up, man, your light is shining. No bad days. And here you out here, you just brought yourself the same person with you, you know, that positive person. Any last things you want to tell the whole world? Because I'm telling you, this is going worldwide.
Yeah. I want to thank my wife, Gay Juarez. You know, she, people talk about ride and die and all that other crazy stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That woman was there for me every minute. I never had to worry about my books. I never had to worry. I tell her, quit coming to visit me. You know, it takes you 5 hours to get here. And she goes, shut up, old man. You know, I'm here. And she was, you know, and she's been with me every moment, you know, and it was harder on her than it was on me, you know. I mean, she, you know, she talks about,
I saw, you know, some of those posts and stuff like that, feeling heartbroken.
You know, and it just, you know what, and what saved my life was all your prayers. That's what did it. The federal government ain't got nothing on your prayers. Man. Okay, I mean, they thought for sure that they were going to lock me up for the rest of my life and all my brothers. God had a different plan. He said, "Oh no. You know, these men learned something here. Maybe they'll go out and share it." Oh.
Man, God's got the heart of the king in his hand, and he can turn it any way he wants it. And that's exactly what he did. They had you in there, and people could think anything they do because it's easy to believe bad news.
That's
Those
right.
dirty bikers, they this, that, and everything like that. But, you know, I tell people, hey, we weren't there. We don't even know, first off, you know, allegedly, you know, because, and I personally got to know because they tore this house to bits, everything like that, and found nothing but some, unnamed informant allegedly said we were going to have a standoff with them. And, you know, so I love that, man, we can be words of wisdom to a younger generation to tell them, we get it and everything like that, but I ain't got time to be mad. I'm not bitter about what happened. It's made me a better man. And I agree with you, brother. Gay, your beautiful wife, man. Oh, man, just we were talking a little bit earlier. I mean, my wife's a soldier.
That's right.
And they're put up with all of my things, and she's still dealing with me. Got a beautiful house to share with everybody that's here all the time.
That's it. A special kind of woman.
Beautiful type woman.
Thank you, God.
Hey, thank you again, my brother.
Thank you.
Love you.
I'm okay. I love you too. More than you'll ever know. Okay.
Woo!
Thank you.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Right.
Thank you, Quickie.
You're welcome.
Man.